I didn't get an email from you. Geometry is generally fairly difficult to verbalize problems. Oddly enough, I have another geometry student that did send me stuff today. If this is not, she goes to Conifer High School, I think, so it's probably not going to be the same material you have, but maybe it's the same subject matter, or what do you want to do? Do you want to take a picture of something and send it to me, or?
I sent something to you. I don't know if it's still sending.
Oh, let me have a look, see if I got it. Not yet. Did you send it to David Cowan 1949 at gmail.com?
Yes. So.
Not yet. Kind of phone? iPhone or
It's an iPhone.
It's an iPhone? Make sure you
Yeah,
with large image also, not small image.
I just sent it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, if you send it with small image, it's not readable by the time I bring it up on my computer. So you need to send it with large image. Is it? Nothing yet. Is there anything on that page that you can verbally describe so that we can get started without waiting, and then maybe it'll come in while we're working on another problem?
I'll try to send it again, and then.
I got it. I see it now. It just came in.
Okay.
It takes a minute or two. Which one do you want to start with? The one on the right or the left?
The right.
I can rotate it. And now let me do this. All right. Name an angle. Let's just go through these. 39. All lines are parallel that look parallel. In other words, that's what this says up here. L is parallel to M is parallel to N, and S is parallel to T. So what's a vertical angle to 21?
24.
Okay. What are two angles that are linear pairs with 20?
19 and 18.
Okay. Name three angles that are corresponding to 14.
Would it be 10?
Corresponding basically means this. If I have two parallel lines, one is corresponding to 5. 2 is corresponding to 6. In other words, they occupy the same position. They're the same angle. Corresponding angles are equal. So 14, what's at least two angles that I can see that would be corresponding to 14? What are they?
10.
Not, okay, there we go. 10 is 1, yeah. That's why they said there's 3. I wasn't seeing 10. Now look at this way. What's corresponding if you examine it this way to 14?
22.
22. And what else?
6.
Right. You see why 6, 14, and 22 are all corresponding?
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same size, and they occupy immediately to the right of that parallel line, immediately to the right of that, and immediately to the right of that. So 6 and 22 are corresponding, but you're right, 10 is also, because there's another set of parallel lines there. Name 3 angles that are alternate interior to 4. Alternate interior. So what's the first one that I see?
5.
Interior. That's correct. 5 is one of them. What are 2 more?
12.
No, that's
No.
corresponding to 4.
9.
9, same size as 4, and they're interior. Interior basically means they're inside the parallel lines. So 4, 9, and 17. Notice that if we eliminate the line N, if we were to erase it, well, 4 and 17 would be alternate interior. They would be interior because they're inside the lines L and M. Exterior, in my drawing over here, the exterior ones are 1 and 6. And they're exterior because they're outside of the parallel lines. Whereas 4 and 9 are inside the parallel lines L and N. And then 4 and 17 are inside the parallel lines L and M.
Okay.
Number 43, name 2 angles that are alternate exterior to 15.
22.
That's one.
And
Look in the other direction. Not, in other words, up-down direction, not just, in other words, because we have multiple sets of parallel lines here, that's why we're getting all these combinations. 15 and 22 are definitely alternate exterior with regards to parallel lines N and M. But what about if I'm talking parallel lines S and T? Well,
it would be 10.
right, 15 and 10. In other words, we'd have to be outside of those 2 parallel lines.
Okay.
Okay, alternate interior to 9. Just one.
Would it be 17?
No, that would be, those would be corresponding, right? 9 and 17, they occupy the same position relative to the parallel lines. What we want is alternate, meaning they're on the other side, or excuse me, alternate interior means the 2 parallel lines they must be talking about are L and N. 4 is inside L and N, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would make it interior. And it's alternate because it's on the other side of the transversal. So that's where they get their names, alternate exterior and alternate interior. It depends on which side of the parallel lines and which side of the transversal you're on. Notice that corresponding angles are always on the same side of the transversal, whereas alternate interior and alternate exterior are always on opposite sides of the transversal. So 9 and 4 would be interior, but alternate.
Okay.
Number 45, 3 corresponding angles to angle 20.
12.
Okay, that's one.
21.
No, those would be alternate, not corresponding.
Oh yeah. 22.
That's different size.
Um,
About 24. You see where 24
oh yeah.
corresponding to 20?
Yeah.
They're both the obtuse angle, and they're in the same position. They're on the same side as this transversal line M, and they're corresponding. If I start with 24 and I go up until I find the same angle, it's 20. Okay. Name one angle that's alternate exterior to 8.
Mm. 21.
No, notice that if I were to look at 21, that's an interior angle because the two parallel lines would be L and M, right?
So
Well, 8 is
yeah.
inside, in between those. So if I'm looking for something where 8 is exterior, I've got to look at the parallel lines S and T. So you're right, 8 is exterior to S and T, and so is 1. And they're both the obtuse angle. So you see where 1 and 8 are alternate exterior.
Mm-hmm.
They try to confuse you by giving you all these parallel lines, and that's on purpose. They're trying to get you to look at the problem from different angles. Sometimes you're looking at these are the parallel lines, sometimes you're looking at those 3 lines are the parallel lines. And all of the lines act as transversals. So
Okay.
what's linear to 6? 2 angles that are linear to 6.
5.
Okay, 1.
And 8.
Yep. Angle 6 and 23 are what?
Alternate exterior.
Interior. If you erase line N, then you're left with only L and M, right?
Mm-hmm.
6 is inside those, L and M. And so is 23. So 6 and 23, just in your mind, kind of erase line N, as in Nancy, and you can see that 6 and 23 are alternate interior.
Okay.
14 and 16.
Linear.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Linear.
Linear, yes. 1 and 18. No, we haven't had one like this yet.
Are those linear?
They're
supplementary.
Not really linear. They're supplementary. In other words, linear angles are supplementary, but linear means they're next to one another, always.
Yeah.
In other words, if I want to draw a linear pair, I got to draw it like that. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if I draw another parallel line over there, 1 is not linear with 3, even though 2 and 3 are the same. 1 and 3 you could say are supplementary, but they're not linear pair, even though they are supplementary. So not all supplementary angles are a linear pair. They have to be next to one another. How about 3 and 19?
Are they corresponding?
Yes. And what kind of angles are 2 and 22?
Acute?
More specific. They're equal.
Okay.
In other words, every angle you see, 1 through 24, is either acute or obtuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of the acute ones are equal to one another. All the obtuse ones are equal to one another. And the combination of any acute and an obtuse are supplementary. So that's all you really have to know. So what kind of angles are 2 and 22? They're the same. They're equal. They're both acute, and they don't fit any other definition. They're not interior or exterior or corresponding or linear. So the only answer I can imagine is equal.
Okay.
Okay. How about 9 and 16?
Equal obtuse angles?
Well, they are equal, but there's another thing I could say about them. Aren't they also alternate exterior?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if I consider my parallel lines S and T, well, 9 is outside of them, 16 is outside of them, and they're on the opposite sides of that transversal. So that makes them alternate exterior. And they probably want that as an answer as opposed to just equal. In other words,
Okay.
they are equal, and it'd be hard to grade that wrong. But given the context of these problems, I'm guessing they want as specific of an answer as possible. And in this case, that would be alternate exterior.
Okay.
Okay. See, I guess that page is done. Now let's have a look at the other page. And the groovy figure, hold on a second, let me get this right here. Wow. All right. Please find all the missing angles. What's A? Let's try to do this without me having to redraw it, because that would take 5 minutes for me to do.
It would be 32.
Okay, what's B?
32.
What is C?
Would that be 32?
Correct, because these are parallel lines. In other words, this set of parallel lines here that has the single arrow there, that's what that means, is it's parallel to that line. Whereas these two lines down here with the double arrow, that's parallel to each other also. But that's how they distinguish between which lines are parallel to which other lines. Okay. So D.
Would that be...
Before we do D, let's do E. What is E?
Would that be 22?
No, that 22 comes from that parallel line. In other words, if we look at the parallel lines that are more horizontal, the double arrow.
Oh, is it 11?
Yeah, notice that 11 is corresponding, it's corresponding to this angle that's next to D, right there, right? That's not labeled.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 11. So D has to be what?
It would have to be 169.
Yeah. and E was 11, so D is 169. And G. Gee whiz. Okay. What is G?
148.
Yep. F.
32.
Yeah, F's the same as A. Well, hold on. F is actually the same as C. And that's what we got for C was 32, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. G.
22.
Look at G. Always make sure your answer fits the picture. G is very obtuse.
Oh, G, 148.
Right. H.
148.
148. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I.
32.
And J.
22.
Yeah. Yeah, J is alternate interior with 22, huh? If I look at just those parallel lines and that transversal. Okay, and then finally K.
158.
Yep. That's it. You got any other questions or problems that you want to look at? Or did we cover all of them?
That was the last page.
Okay. Is there another page? I mean, we have 5 minutes, but if you've got other problems on another page and you can send it real quick, let's do it.
Okay, I'll send you. We have a proof, and I'm not very good at proofs,
Okay.
so I'll send you that.
Okay, we may not have time to do a whole proof. I got to leave at 6. But we'll take a look at it. I have another student that has a great deal of difficulty getting pictures to me, and I've never been able to understand the problem. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Sometimes he'll send me pictures and I won't get them till the next day. And
That's weird.
It is weird. I'm wondering it has something to do with the King Carl Ranch area or something. I don't know. I can't really figure out a solution to it.
Oh, that's not very good.
I can read it enough.
Okay.
So let's see. We're given that A is perpendicular, A is parallel to B, and A is perpendicular to Z. So we're trying to prove that B is perpendicular to Z also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the first statement is always what?
The given.
Yeah, both givens. So A is parallel to B and A is perpendicular to Z, and in reason given. Number 2, angle 1 is a right angle. What's the reason for that?
Definition of a right angle.
Definition of perpendicular.
Oh.
In other words, we're trying to say that it's a right angle. The only information I have at this point is that A is perpendicular to Z. And that's what forms angle 1. So I can't really say the reason is that it's a right angle. The statement is that it's a right angle, and we have to give a reason why it's a right angle. Well, it's a right angle because the definition of perpendicular.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3, AEA. What does that stand for? Alternate exterior angle? Yeah, that's exactly what it means. So what
Okay.
can I say? What statement would require me to be looking at alternate? So far, I'm only looking at angle 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's alternate exterior to 1?
2.
Okay. So what is statement 3?
Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2.
Correct. Because of that alternate exterior angle theorem. Angle 2 is a right angle. Why?
Definition of perpendicular or corresponding.
Definition of, seems like they left out a step, but in other words, if angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 1 is a right angle 2 is a right angle by substitution.
Okay.
It's like saying angle 1 equals 90, angle 1 equals angle 2, therefore angle 2 equals 90 by substitution.
Okay.
And finally, B is perpendicular to Z. What's the reason?
Definition of a right angle.
Yes, very good. It's no longer definition of perpendicular because that's what we're trying to prove. But we have proven, in other words, once you get to step 4, you know angle 2 is a right angle. So now we can say definition of a right angle means those two lines are perpendicular.
Okay.
And that's your proof. It wasn't too bad. Not very many proofs that only take 5 minutes. Allie, I'm going to let you go. I will talk to you next. What?
Wednesday.
Hold on a second. Yeah. We moved, you normally have Wednesday and we moved it to Monday this week, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next week it's still back to Wednesday. Let me make sure I got you there. Yeah, Wednesday at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.